Letitia James is mad.
All right, so here's the breaking news. And the former federal prosecutor Cherkasky and I were just talking about this. And he said this was not going to hold up. He said Trump's going to be fine. So the court has just ruled that the bond, that $175 million bond that Trump put up, will stand, despite the fight that the woman on the right, Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, was trying to slide in. And what did Cherkasky call it? He called it, she was trying to play a legal technicality, saying that the insurance company that Trump was using wasn't going to have the resources to back up that bond should he fail an appeal. Well, the court says the bond can stay. $175 million needs to be in cash, not mutual funds or securities where value can fluctuate. Knight Insurance cannot trade or move the money, but they will have control of the account and will provide a monthly financial statement to the Attorney General showing $175 million in cash.
You know, she over there pissed off right now. I mean, you should be. All that corruption that you're trying to get paid for ain't paying off. But anyhow, $175 million, the man dropped it off in cash, and we all know that he shouldn't have to do this in the first place. I mean, every real estate agent has said, every lawyer has come out and said, even on CNN, you know, well, not the CNN panelists, but they've come out and said that what Trump did was nothing new. It was actually quite common, but this man got to fit the bill for it. I mean, he does it with a smile. He got the money. Bill Mitchell went on to say election interference on steroids. Unfortunately for the Democrats, it will win Trump the election. Somebody else wrote justice prevails and right under it left this outside of the courtroom. That will forever be a classic meme right here. What else we got? We got some class. Oh, whoa, hold up. Ouch. Let's keep going. Hold on. This Trump trial is BS. Y'all see that? LOL, these people can't win. They keep trying and keep failing. Trump 2024. It was agreed to only because Trump can't touch the account now. What's the mortgage on Trump Tower? Great news. Thanks for sharing. Massive win. It won a bit more time. That still leads to the inevitable. I don't even know what that means right now, but pretty much everybody is saying good job. You got a few haters, but yeah, shout out to the judge on ruling something good this time. I tell you what, I ain't the only one, and Trump supporters, we ain't the only ones pissed off. Alina Habba, she snapped on Letitia James.
He should not have two teams of lawyers here today. He should not even be here today because he did nothing wrong. It is the epitome of a witch hunt. I just left where a judge asked us whether our cash bond, cash, sitting in. Ms. James wanted to argue and say that our cash somehow isn't green enough. We wasted time. The judge made a comment saying he thought that money market accounts could go down under the amount. He doesn't even understand basic principles of finance. But this was the man that decided that we owed money and my client committed fraud. We are going to attack every single one. 1 hour, the Attorney General and that judge realized quickly that they had no idea what they were talking about. We came to an agreement that everything would be the same. We would modify terms, and that was it. This is where your taxpayer dollars are going, America. Right here. Witch hunt after witch hunt. President Trump's company was worth more in that case than it is now. And now what? We're here because of something that happened when he was in the White House that wasn't even wrong. It was not wrong. You hire lawyers to solve problems, lawyers solve those problems, you pay them. That's it. This is a joke. It's an affront to the American Constitution. It's an affront to our judicial system. And it's an affront to every lawyer that cares about their license, that cares about what is right and wrong. I am sick of coming in front of the press and saying this, but you have to because you people need to understand what is going on. God forbid you put an accounting thing in for legal counsel. It's legal counsel. And now our taxpayer dollars, my time, our attorney's fees, are all here because they're afraid of 2024. And you know what? They should be, because the American people are not stupid. They see what's going on. Thank you.
Yeah, I know that these charges and everything is serious, but I like when Alina get a little spicy. You know what I'm saying? So we could definitely consider this a huge blow to the Trump deranged. I ain't gonna add another adjective after that. Letitia James. This is obvious proof that, bro, all of these charges and everything that she's been doing is frivolous. It's an embarrassment, not only to her position, but it's an embarrassment to the American people. Come on, dog, you failing the system as a black woman in this position, fumbling the play, man, just going after this man for what? Money. Oh yeah, I forgot we diagnosed her with Trump derangement, TDS. So yeah, that's a reason enough, right? She's been doing nothing but showing her political bias even before going after Trump, actually campaigning on that. And I believe that her election speeches to be attorney general should be used in court. Honestly, why ain't nobody talking about that? Anywho, let's hear what Trump has to say about all of this.
News. The former president is speaking. Court is over for the day. Let's watch.
Thank you.
And they call it a legal expense. That's the exact term they use, legal expense, in the books. And another thing that wasn't even said was we never even deducted it as a tax deduction. So that takes a whole of answer. Most people want to deduct everything. We never even took it as a tax deduction. But they called a payment to a lawyer a legal expense in the books. They didn't call it construction. They didn't say you're building a building. It called a payment to a lawyer because, as you know, Cohn is a lawyer. Represented a lot of people over the years. Now, I'm not the only one. And wasn't very good in a lot of ways in terms of his representation. But he represented a lot of people. But he puts in an invoice or whatever, a bill, and they pay it, they call it a legal expense. I got indicted for that. What else would you call it? Actually, nobody's been able to say what you're supposed to call it. If a lawyer puts in a bill or an invoice, and you pay the bill, and in the book, it's a little line, that's a very small little line. I don't know if you could even write more than 2 words. It's not like you could tell a life story. They marked it down to a legal expense. This is what I got indicted over.
That's crazy.
Think of it. I got indicted. I'm the leading candidate. I'm beating Biden. I'm beating the Republicans now. I have
now we get to the heart of it all. That's the reason why you're going through this, Trump, is you just said it.
This is what they try and take me off the trail for. That check's being paid to a lawyer. He is a lawyer, or was a lawyer. And also the things he got in trouble for were things that had nothing to do with me. He got in trouble, he went to jail. This had nothing to do with me. This had to do with the taxi cab company that he owned, which is just something he owned, and medallions and borrowing money and a lot of things, but it had nothing to do with me. He represented a lot of people over the years, but they take this payment and they call it a legal expense, and you heard it today for the first time. This is what I got indicted over. This is what took me off and takes me off the campaign trail, because I should be in Georgia now. I should be in Florida now. I should be in a lot of different places right now campaigning, and I'm sitting here. And this will go on for a long time. It's very unfair. The judge is conflicted, as you know. It's very unfair what's going on.
Agreed.
I should be allowed to campaign. And whoever heard of this, he got indicted for that? People in the court just said to me, I can't believe it. This is the case. So we did nothing wrong. The other thing is, if this were such a great case, why didn't the Southern District bring it? Who looked at it, turned it down? Why didn't numerous other agencies and law enforcement groups look at it? Because it was shown to everybody. And very importantly, why didn't the federal elections do anything about it? Because this is federal, it's not state. They're trying to make it a state case, whatever. And it's not state, it has nothing to do. It's never happened before, I believe. Never happened before. This has never happened before, where the state tries to insert itself in federal elections. Nobody's ever seen it. But you know, federal elections took a total pass on it. They said essentially nothing was done wrong, or they would have done something about it. They're tough. They would have done something about it. But they said nothing, and they said, we're going to take a pass. Because they couldn't even believe it. Actually, if you read their letter, they couldn't even believe it. They were incredulous. And yet, Bragg picks it up. Now, with Bragg, if you look, when he first came in, he didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do it. Now, when are they going to look at Pomerantz and what Pomerantz did? Because that's bad stuff. And when are they going to look at all the lies that Cohen did in the last trial? He got caught lying in the last trial. So he got caught lying, pure lying. And when are they going to look at that? Now, we'll go to another subject, because just a few blocks away, as you know, they had a trial on the $175 million. That's Letitia James. It's all coming out of the White House, by the way. And that's in front of Judge Engoron. And the judge really didn't know anything. He didn't know about collateral security. He said, supposing it goes down. Well, it doesn't go down because it's cash. I put up $175 million in cash, and we have a bonding company do it. And he challenged the bonding company that maybe the bonding company was no good. Well, they're good, and they also have $175 million of collateral, my collateral. But the judge didn't know anything about it. He didn't know what the $175 million cash meant. He had no idea what anything meant. And he had no idea what he did in the trial. And he charged hundreds of millions of dollars on something where I'm totally innocent. But if you look at what happened today, Judge Engoron should not have done that trial. It should have gone to the business division where they have complex business trials. But actually, it should have never been brought because I didn't overestimate. You know, they say I overestimated. If you look at the numbers, they're underestimated. I underestimated. I did the opposite of what they said. And the reason that they tried to, and they did it for their own narrative, they valued $1 billion asset at $18 million. They valued other assets as little, in order to build their narrative.
I'm telling you, what Trump did is literally nothing out of the ordinary. This is literally as frivolous and ambiguous as it comes. You can't tell me this isn't a witch hunt, and this isn't to prevent this man from being able to take office. So prove me wrong.
They want to build a narrative, but if you look, and I have a complete record of what happened, Judge Engoron had no idea what was going on, didn't understand the most simple concepts, and this is the man that took a case, and this is why businesses they're moving out of New York, because they can't be subject to this. They'd be put out of business. They're moving out of New York because of it. But Judge Engoron had absolutely no idea what had happened. He didn't realize we put up 175. But when he found out we put it up, he said, what happens if it goes up or down? I said, it doesn't, or they said, it doesn't go up or down. It's cash that we put up, all cash. Very few people could do that. And the deal was approved with the Attorney General. You can believe that. But the deal was approved. She just tried to embarrass everybody, and she tried to embarrass a very good bonding company by saying they weren't creditworthy. Well, they were creditworthy, and what was more important is they had a security, $175 million that I put up. But the point here is that
just some haters.
No idea what was happening. And this is the same judge that 2 months ago made a ruling that shook the world. It shook the world because everyone knows going to that trial I did nothing wrong. And over here, I did nothing wrong also. This is a Biden witch hunt to keep me off the campaign trail. So far, it's not working because my poll numbers are higher than they've ever been because the public understands that it's a witch hunt. Thank you very much.
Mr. Trump, what was it like hearing the Access Hollywood tape? Are you worried about Stormy Daniels testifying against you?
As the top comment pointed out, what other countries persecute their political opponents? Come on. Wonder why? And I'm glad he's calling it exactly what it is. This is a Biden witch hunt. You gotta follow the money. Of course, if Biden doesn't get back in the office, so many pockets will be emptied. Trump is not coming back and just gonna be, hey, how you doing? They tried to ruin this man's life and tried to put this man in jail. You don't think that the crooked politicians ain't gonna be getting a little rude awakening? I'm gonna just leave it at that. There's no way that I see Biden being able to take this fair and square. He either has to cheat or do what he's doing, well, which is cheating. Weaponizing the government just to make sure that it goes in his favor. This shit is painful.